Welcome to the Cycling Esports Show for the final time this season. This week we'll be looking at the final round of racing in the Women's KISS Super League. Could the Zwift All-Stars hold on to clinch the overall title? You'll have to wait and see.
Also this week, Ollie caught up with James Phillips, one of the riders from Canyon ZCC, which is the world's first professional eRacing team. James was racing in the KISS Community League. More on that later in the show. But first, let's see what happened in round 8 of the Women's KISS Super League.
Welcome to Watopia for the final round of the Women's KISS Super League. It was the All-Stars to lose heading into the final round, as they sat comfortably ahead of Pro Team Showair 2020 in second and the Zwift Academy team in third. The combination of rolling hills and flat terrain lent itself to a flat-out battle of attrition, and that's exactly what happened as the race soon developed into a cagey affair with few riders willing to risk going on the attack. For the first 20 kilometres, the drama was limited to the fight for the intermediate sprints, with starler Tedder Green of Hagen's Berman Superman eventually taking the sprints competition ahead of Dream Team rider Leah Thorvaldsen. With 6k left, things started to hot up with the first few attacks after 30 minutes of full gas racing. Dream Team star Mary Wilkinson wanted a drag race to the finish and the pack split. Could she hold on? The sprint was now on and it was Dixon who perfectly timed her aero power up, put down a massive 10 watts per kilo, and it was curtains for the rest of the peloton. Leah Dixon takes her second consecutive win, and the All-Stars a well-deserved win in the overall. Chapeau.
And then I was quite taken aback when Mary obviously attacked quite far out, and I was on the back of the group at that point, so that kind of put me on the back foot, panicking a little bit. And I didn't quite know what to do in terms of, did I try and close that gap immediately, or did I just try and wait? I knew that I had the aero power up as well, and I just kind of decided to wait and then back myself in a sprint, and surprisingly it worked because I'm not that confident on my sprint skills. Normally I have terrible timing, so in quite a lot of the Super League and the Nationals, I just go that little bit too early and then get caught on the line. So I just decided to wait. Even last week I did the same thing. I waited much later than what I would have normally waited, and it worked both times.
My assessment really is, I think, so we didn't see the attacks we normally see. No one was trying anything, and I think it was something like, you know, when there are still races left in the series, you can convince yourself, like, I'm going to try something this week because there'll always be other races to like win in or something like that. And this race was the last one, so everyone wanted it. There's no other opportunities, and so, you know, everyone was taking the sort of the most likely way to win, which is just to sit in and wait for the sprint. You know, Leah Dixon, maybe Mary Wilkinson tried a little something, but I think everyone knew things were probably not going to work, and so they wanted to win this one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the most exciting point was obviously the sprint at the end.
Yeah.
Wilkinson went early, probably an error in hindsight.
Yeah, Wilkinson, you know, she's been so strong throughout the series. You know, I think she would have had even more success, except for some bad luck with power-ups, or some you know, bad luck in the timing she used the power-ups. She's one of the most dominant racers on Zwift, I think. And you know, I don't know what she, you know, I'd like to hear her tell us what she was thinking at the end. You know, I think she was just kind of doing one final show of force. Maybe she figures, you know, probably not going to win the sprint. She's not the best sprinter out there, but she absolutely is one of the strongest. And I think she wanted one final kind of swan song for the series, and she definitely went out with a show for us.
Next up this week, Ollie catches up with eRacing star James Phillips. James rides for Canyon ZCC, which is the world's first professional eRacing team. James used to be a former elite badminton player, having represented Wales at 2 Commonwealth Games. As well as that, he's also current Welsh national road race champion. Let's see what happened.
My name is James Phillips and I ride for the first professional e-racing team, Canyon ZCC.
So I'll just sit in the draft and just make sure I'm towards the front of the group.
I had a message from Reese, who was the chap behind running the team, and yeah, he just sent me a Facebook message and said, you know, is this you, from my Swift profile. You know, he said, you know, I got something that you might be interested in. And yeah, you know, I snapped up the opportunity. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, you know, Swift is something that's, you know, worldwide. To be recognised, you know, up there as being one of the best Swifters, if you like, yeah, it's kind of, it's pretty cool. You know, it's been a bit tough for me, this first stretch, because I've been finding my legs, you know, from a bad injury just before Christmas. And I really noticed that the standard of Swift racing has the bar's really gone up a notch, you know. More recently, the pace has been so fast in the community league, it's just been a case of just hanging on with the bunch, to be honest with you, and just seeing what you can do at the end. Well, you just need to have good 1 minute power, you know, 5 minute power, and a good sprint, really. You know, I mean, I've always been quite good on a TT. I think what Swift is a TT effort with, you know, those short bursts in between and having a, you know, decent sprint at the end, really. Usually I'm quite low watts per kilo over the course of the race compared to a lot of other people, so that just goes to show that, you know, I'm good at drafting and can play the game and conserve my energy. Whereas, you know, you sort of see some other boys who are really pushing out the watts, and you know, they'll be struggling at the end then, you know. Well, I mean, it's the only thing that's kept me on the bike. I got 2 kids and, you know, family, full-time job. And yeah, for me, without Swift, I would not be on my bike, as simple as that.
Okay, that's it from us for the final time this season. Kira, what did you make of it all?
It's been an absolute whirlwind. For me personally, I did my first ever Zwift race, and in my second ever Zwift race, I was actually racing against Ollie, so be sure to go back and check that out if you haven't seen it.
Yep, I would 100% agree with that, Kira. And if you look back at both the men's and women's KISS Super Leagues, they were both full of action-packed racing, loads of excitement. It really couldn't have been better. And if you think about the British National Championships as well, I mean, that was a mega spectacle broadcast live on TV. I mean, how do you top that, really? So both of us are really excited to see where eRacing takes us over the next few years. Until then, see ya. Bye.